But you know, I am pretty genuine and pretty real. So if I'm bullshitting, I know something about it to be able to bullshit it. So the other person, unless they're a better bullshitter than me, they can't pick it up. We're gonna go mix it in the dirt. My mom used to always say, "Now, Faye, you can be hauling hay when you're 30." And I'd say, "Yeah, Mom." She says, "Too hard to work." And my mother grew up on the farm with my dad, and she worked hard too, you know. And I'd say, "Yeah, Ma, I am." And then she'd say, "Well, you're gonna be." Then I'd turn 40. "You're gonna keep hauling hay?" And I say, "Yeah, I am, Mom." And then 50, and then 60. But now, see, I still haul hay, but it's the big bales, so you use the tractor. But I've had big trucks and hauled 200 bales on a truck, loaded them and unloaded by hand. And that's where I got this, I know. And that's my left. I don't want to dare show you the right because it's, you know, it's too much. But when I was like preteen, my father had farming equipment, and we lived on a farm. And of course, I'd go out and plow victory gardens, which was before you guys' time. All the neighbors had victory gardens, kind of like my garden out there. And I'd take an old Ford tractor, Ferguson, and plow it, and then I would harrow it, and then level it. And I'd get like $5 maybe, but my dad would give me a percentage. So I'd just hurry and get out of school because I didn't really like school back then, and I'd go plow victory gardens, 2,340 acres. A 3-acre reservoir up there that you could fish out of, although we never took time to fish, but it was gorgeous. The bluebells, and we'd ride up, herding the cows up in the clouds, put up a lot of hay, and worked hard. In 1968, International Harvester, which is probably still a magazine, but back then it was just a little magazine that they put out, and an independent guy came and lived up at stayed at the ranch with us for about 3 days, the High Ute Ranch, which my sister and I ran for a few years. And he did a story on us. And it was in the Harvester magazine, and it went all over the United States. Well, you can't believe how many letters we got from men and from people, men that wanted to marry us, because they thought it was a good deal. You know, women that can do that, man, I could use them on my farm. We used to, when I was young, we hauled saltgrass. We'd go out in the duck clubs and cut saltgrass, which is a grass that grows where it's alkali. Yeah. And we'd sell it to the stockyards, my dad, and then I took the business over. We'd sell it to the stockyards, and they would put it in the box cars. But then I did get a job at Disneyland. I worked in Frontierland, and back then it was I was a mule skinner. Not actually slicing the mules up, but I rolled the lead mule with a string of 8 behind, and we'd take kids on rides through this little land and tell them about Frontierland. Oh yeah, this is Toffee. I don't have any idea how old Toffee is, but I saw him when I was driving down on South Redwood years ago, and he was in a little tiny pan with something else, and the guy was feeding him lettuce, which would have eventually killed him. I said, "How much?" He said, $600, and that was about 5 times too much, but I took him because I wanted to get him out of that setting. And I can ride him, and he's real good with kids. Hershey's a miniature, and he came from the zoo because they had this stud and mare, and the stud jumped the fence and got the mare, and they had Hershey, and they didn't want to have a colt, didn't want another horse. Come on, Hersh. So I had a friend that worked at the zoo, and she told me about him. So I went and got him when he was about 6 months old. That's my truck that I haul soap down to Best Friends Animal Sanctuary in Kanab, the largest no-kill animal sanctuary in the world. And Hewish donates a load of soap a month, and I haul it down. I bought that truck just for that. And I put 12 pallets in there, and that's all the soap they use for all their animals, 2,000 animals. And people work there, about 300 people work there. You know, we lived on a farm, we always did chores, and it was real important that the animals were fed and taken care of before we were, really. We'd do the chores first, and then we'd come in and eat. But I remember having, one time, 17 cats, stray cats that I took care of. And on the farm it was okay because we had cows, and the cats would line up in the barn, and we'd take the teat and squeeze it and shoot the cat right in the mouth, and they'd just stand there and go like that. That horse trailer is a 1976 horse trailer. It's got a story. It went to Texas to get 2 horses that my sister had sold for meat when they were old, and she got feelings about wanting them back, so it went to Morton, Texas. I drove it there. but she got on a plane and got there before they were killed, and I went in the trailer. But after we got them home, they lived another few years, and now they're buried up there on Redwood Road, because we, you know, dig a hole with a backhoe and bury the horses. What I've learned about life? Let's see, what I've learned about life. It's not easy. It's not fair. It's tough, but it's what you make of it, and you can choose every day to be happy or sad. And I think it's a head thing first, and you decide because you're in charge of you. And I have to say right here that work has always been a pleasure for me, and if I couldn't work like I do, I wouldn't want to be here. Get on my tractor, because that's the thing that gives me the peace of mind. Yeah, I'm gonna mix it, and you guys are gonna spread it from my information. You just spread it around, right?
I'll give it all to you. It's gonna shine out of your pearly vision. It's gonna bathe you in a radiance. I bet you never knew we were the same one, but I'll clip the vein that ties we two, so you'll be free of my weighted presence, so you'll fly out on your own.